Hi there YouTube, I'm back with another book haul. This is my October book haul. I was gonna wait until the end of the month to do this, but my pile is already quite large and I'm planning on buying more books and I'm getting more delivered, so I thought I might as well just do this now and I can do a second one at the very end of the month. So I got quite a lot this time, so I'll start with some of my fantasy ones and I got from the charity shop. The first one I got is the Dragonbone chair by Tad Williams, and I don't really know much about this at all. I just picked it up because it was £1 and it's got the word dragon in the title, which I'm trying to get a collection of as many books with the word dragon in the title as possible. So I went for that. It just kind of generic fantasy sounding blurb on the back, so it doesn't really tell you much. But it was £1. I then also picked up the second one, Stone of Farewell, because again it was just £1 and I figured if I enjoyed the first one I'd like to own the second one. I can get started on it sooner than later. Then I got, let's start with the receipt and the sticker on it, I got The Way of Kings Part 2. You may remember I got the first one in my last book haul and I had a voucher to use at the bookstore, so I went and got this. And it was buy one get one half price, so I ended up getting Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, which I've seen on quite a few YouTubers' channels and it sounds quite interesting. I've also been planning on reading more science fiction, so I thought it'd be quite useful. And on the back it says, "This book pleased every geeky bone in my geeky body. I feel it was written just for me," by Patrick Rothfuss, and I really enjoyed his books, so if he says it's good then I'll trust him and get it. Another one I got because of YouTube is Sisters Red by Jackson Pierce. I've seen quite a lot of people talk about this book and I've tried to avoid reviews so that I don't get any spoilers, but I also really like the cover and I managed to get the hardback copy. I don't normally buy hardbacks just because they take up more space on the shelf and my bookshelves are quite full, as you can probably see if I dodge to the side. Probably this way. And they're also not that tall, so the hardbacks, it makes it harder to fit them in. And this I also got really cheaply, so I'm quite happy about that. I might try and read it this month if I've got time, because it might be a nice Halloween spooky read. And the next few books I got are for uni ones. I got Caesar's The Conquest of Gaul. I was using this for an essay, and unfortunately I've almost ripped a page out of it somewhere, so I need to be extra careful. But I've not actually read all of this yet, I've just read the chapter that I needed for my essay. Another one I got was Bede, the Ecclesiastical History of the English People. And again, I thought this might be useful for my essay, and I know the library has it, along with the other one, but I found this in the bookshop for £4 and just, like, the cover is really pretty. And so I just wanted to own it. That, and I moved this idea. The top shelf, you can see they've got a little gap, that's my uni bookshelf. So I figured if I buy some more books I can fill the shelf up faster and it'll look less empty. The final one I got, potentially for uni, is Arthurian Romances by Chrétien de Troyes, because as I mentioned in my other one, I'm quite interested in Arthurian literature, and these are obviously kind of classic Arthurian tales. And I'm thinking about potentially doing my dissertation on Arthurian literature, so owning this would be quite useful. And it's quite long, so I might take a while to read this, but it's been on my wish list for ages, and I finally found, I was going to be buying the Penguin version, but I found this one, which is the Everyman Classics version, and it was a lot cheaper, so I just went for it because the longer I leave it, the more books I get on my wish list, so I may as well slowly try and get some of them off of it. And the final book I got was one that I purchased today actually, because I volunteer in a bookshop and I found this while tidying the shelves, so I hid it until the end of my shift. And it is The Oxford Book of Victorian Ghost Stories, edited by Michael Cox and R. Gilbert. And it's basically a collection of, one second, I'll check. It doesn't actually tell you quite how many, but there's a lot of short stories. You can see that's all short stories there. and more there. So far I've read the first one and it was quite good. I've also got a lot of annotations on it from the last owner, which are quite interesting. They're all in pencil though, so I'll be able to rub them out and it'll be fine. But yeah, so that's going to be my spooky read for October. I was going to do a currently reading TBR for October, but it's a bit late now with only a week and a bit left. But what I'll do is I'll quickly show you the books I'm currently reading. I'm reading The Way of Kings Part 1, now that I own the second one. I was able to dive right in. And I'm about maybe a quarter of the way through. And so far I'm really enjoying it. This book is really beautiful. It's got tons of illustrations. Like, that's the chapter headings. And you've got little things like that, just like pages. The art is just beautiful. I didn't know that when I bought it, but I would have bought it just for this. There's another part in here. I'll just leave it for now. Yeah. Then the next one I'm reading, I try and read 3 books at a time. 1 fiction, 1 classic book, and 1 non-fiction. So the classic one that I'm currently reading is Le Morte d'Arthur by Thomas Malory. And I'm maybe about a quarter of the way into that as well. Maybe a little less. And it's taken me quite a while because the language is slightly old, but not old enough that it needs translated. And so it's got kind of, at the bottom it'll tell you little things like feign means gladly, entreat, negotiate, purvey, to provide. So I'm on book 3 out of 9 in this one, and I've got part 2 on my bookshelf waiting to be read as well. And so I really need to hurry up and finish this. I might put it to the side for now and just read some other classics, just because it's slowly building up and I want to finish them. Another one that I've been reading for ages is Bertrand Russell's History of Western Philosophy, and I'm now almost halfway through this. I borrowed this about 2.5 years ago. I've had it for ages. I had it in my flat, not last year, but the year before. I had it sitting beside my bed the entire year and just never had time to start reading it. And then I returned it last year, and I borrowed it again now. And I managed to make a decent dent during summer. I got in the habit of reading a chapter a day, which was really helping, but then I went back to uni and got distracted. So I really need to get back into this because it's really interesting, but it's also quite slow reading because it's obviously all about philosophy and it's quite deep, and so you need to kind of go slow to understand it if you want to understand it. And so yes, hopefully I'll finish The Way of Kings soon and I can read part 2. Probably shouldn't have chosen a 2-parter for that, same with my classic one. But no, I think the next book I'm going to read, oh yeah, I'm also reading, of course, Victorian ghost stories, because they're really short. You can read one in maybe 15-20 minutes. I mean, I read the first one in the introduction on the bus on the way home, and so I figured if I just read one a day, then I'll end up reading the rest on Halloween itself, because I don't have any plans, and I'm happy just staying in with a book because I have to get up early the next day. So yes, that's my October book haul and my currently reading. I'll probably end up doing a November to be read at the end of the month, because hopefully by then I'll have finished some of these ones and we'll have started some new ones. Yes, I hope you enjoyed, and if you've read any of the books that I bought, feel free to kind of suggest which one to read first, because I really cannot decide. I mean, I know I don't have that many. I'm just trying to decide if I should read one of the fiction ones I got, or if I should try and focus on the uni ones. I'm really not sure. I mean, I kind of want to read Sisters Red just because all you guys on YouTube are talking about it, and I like to not have to avoid any spoilers for it. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.